Howdy and welcome to Herb's Workshop. In this video we're going to talk about the woes that I've had with my lathe and some of the fixes that are going on. We're going to talk about anchor lube. We're going to talk about cat litter and whatever else we can throw in here. So I hope you enjoy. There's no machining in this video, so if you're looking for that, try one of my other videos. Howdy, it's Herb again. I haven't made a video in a while, so I thought this morning I'd come out here and throw one together and tell you what's been going on in my shop. Got a few little things. About 2 weeks ago, I'd been having problems with a motor on my lathe, and it was actually right after I took it to a shop to be repaired, and they found that the starter capacitor had burned the lead off. So they fixed that, and I brought it back, wired it up, and it worked fine, except it was running backwards from what I was used to. So I switched two wires around, and not relating the two, it started having a hard time to start. Well, I pulled the lathe around. It was lengthwise on the long side of my garage, and I pulled it around and put it parallel to the door, and so I could get to the motor and take it out, which I did. And then I was concerned that it was a bad motor, and Bolts and Tools wants $480 for a new motor, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I was coming out on Saturday morning a couple of weeks ago to measure up the cavity, because it's sort of cramped quarters where that motor goes, and I knew that the current motor was 9.5 inches long, sans the shaft. So anyway, I was going to measure it up, so I hit the automatic door opener, which is up near the door that goes into the house, and it started up, and then all of a sudden it grabbed, and then I heard a crash. Of course, I stopped the door. Well, what had happened is something got between the door and the back of the lathe. I think it was some bar stock that had got pushed back, and that half horsepower garage door opener turned that lathe over, and it landed on the concrete on the headstock side, and the tailstock was up at about a 45-degree angle and lodged on a little stool. So it took me a couple of days with my Harbor Freight engine hoist to get the thing upright and back on the stands, working by myself, and so I got that done. Then I delved into what all the parts are broken, and I'll insert a clip here with the parts. So as you can see, we've got two parts that are broken, and the handle is bent, but this is the part that turns the switch in forward and reverse, and there's a sleeve that rides on this shaft, and then the other part that's broken is a part that has the detent on it for forward, reverse, and off. And so I are getting those grazed and repaired. The two parts, Bolts and Tools, wants $90 and 60 days to replace them. And I'm thinking that grazing will be just fine, and will help with one of my buddies. I'm not real good at grazing, haven't had a lot of practice, so I thought I'd farm that out. So anyway, yesterday I called the place that I had taken the motor over to check on its status. Well, they haven't looked at it and couldn't tell me when they would. They just said, we're behind. Well, I've got my time frame and they got theirs. So I went and got it. And I said, you know, just by chance, did I have this thing wired wrong? So I double checked all the wiring, and sure enough, I had one of the leads that goes to the start cap, those two ends reversed. And it does make a difference. And although it would start, eventually it was straining to do so and just didn't act right. Anyway, I got the motor back. Sure enough, it was wired wrong. Put it back in and it works fine. I had to adjust the micro switches that control forward and reverse. They were bent, the little levers were bent. I straightened those out this morning, and now I'm just waiting on getting the parts back from grazing and get those installed. As most of you know, I use anchor lube. I bought a gallon of it, and that's probably the most economical way. I think it was about $25 a gallon, maybe $28 with shipping, something like that. But at the time, they didn't have these little pint-sized containers. So I had this Ciao Bello Sorbetto blood orange Italian ice cream, a jar, and it works just fine. And this morning I took some super glue, you see that, and super glued a magnet out of a hard drive, and these are neodymium magnets, very, very strong. And so now when the lid's on, or even if it's not, don't have a brush in handy, but it's a place to keep the brush. And when you got the lid off, you can set it down and keep your brush there, keep it off the table. So, highly recommend it if you want to just buy a pack, or go on and say you're with a YouTube community and mention Bar Z, and you can get a pint, or if you like I get a gallon. This is a lifetime supply of this stuff. I use it primarily for drilling and tapping. It works wonderfully. Not so much in turning. On my mill I use a mister, and on the lathe I use cutting oil, or I have FUD cooling on it. So some of the other things, a lot of people have gotten these, but Seco has a deal where you can get a sample of their inserts. And they say chrome is the new black. This is a CCMT 32.52, which fits my tool holders. And so I got that. And see, we'll take you around here and show you some other stuff. Other things that I've done, so I made this control panel for the lathe for the VFD. I have an e-stop switch, forward and reverse switch, and off in the center position. Speed control, and then on the right side of the panel is my air switch for our drawbar. I don't know what everybody else uses to pick up oil on their floor, but I found that cat litter, and the cheaper the better, works great. You leave it in for maybe a day, swish it around, walk on it, drive it into the concrete, and it pulls the oil out, and it makes the oil spots almost invisible. So I spilled a little oil there this morning when I was refilling my one-shot oiler, and I laid the funnel down, and it dripped oil. So, well, I'm sorry for the noise in the background in this video, but it's starting to get warm here in Texas, and I needed a fan, so we got that running. Wanted to say that I'm sorry for all you folks out there in California with your drought. We went through a few years here in Texas, droughts, some lakes down as much as 40 feet, and I can report as of this week that all our lakes are full, and they're letting out water as fast as they possibly can to not flood any places. We're expecting rain again today, and we've got our share of rain, and I guess you folks in California, we got yours. So anyway, we pray for you and hope that it rains and snows out there so you can get your water levels back up. Rationing is, I'm sure, is going to be hard on everybody. And if you want a better business environment, a better living space, maybe not as pretty in a lot of places, but depends on where you go in Texas. We got a lot of pretty places. You can always move. And I had my opportunity back when I worked for Apple Computer to move to California, and I chose to stay in Texas, and I'm glad I did. Anyway, from one native Texan, I'm signing off, and want to thank you for watching.